My name is Alex. Friends call me Gray. I'm a senior business developer at Aki, where I represent the Trident. They're a manually guided fuzzing framework for Solana, and I'm looking to work with the most successful teams out there. Day-to-day basis means cold outreaches, pipeline building, networking, competitive intelligence, and as well working directly with protocol teams to take security seriously before something goes wrong. My background has nothing to do with tech. Business administration degree with finance specialization, master's in hospitality management. So outside of tech completely. I've spent years working on cruise ships. Started from a lower job in sales, moved into luxury retail, selling jewelry and Swiss watches, then got promoted into a management position. As well, that led me into being promoted into hosting live shopping shows in front of hundreds of guests. That also pushed me into a senior management role across retail and marketing, both on board and ashore, working with retail partners in ports of call. Now, everything I know in blockchain, I've taught myself, where Turbine is the exact place where I stopped being, it stopped being a hobby and started becoming more of a career. I could follow along with a tutorial and make things compile, but there was an invisible wall between following instructions and actually understanding what I was doing. I needed to understand well enough to build something on my own. The ceiling was basically the context. Tutorials can teach you what to type, but they don't teach you exactly why it matters, or how can someone break it, or what happens when your assumptions are wrong. I could initialize a vote, but I couldn't tell you exactly how the flow works or what was dangerous about it. And on top of that, I had no feedback loop. Nobody was, looking at my work and saying, this compiles, but it's terrible. Here's why. Self-study basically gives you the knowledge, but it doesn't give you the judgment. The first uncomfortable moment. Oh, the breakout rooms. That's where it kind of hit me. I'm an INFJ Sigma, so I live in my own head. I was very comfortable learning alone in my own cave, going at my own pace, never having to expose what I didn't know. Well, Turbine doesn't let you do that. They put you in breakout rooms, they put you in working groups where you have to talk, you have to contribute, you have to admit when you're lost. Basically, there's no hiding. First time I was in a group and everyone was moving faster than me, I had to actually raise my hand and say, wait a second, I don't understand this. That was the actual moment, because in my previous career, not knowing something was not an option. On cruise ships, selling a $50,000 watch or piece of jewelry, you had to know every single detail before you even open your mouth. Here, I had to get comfortable of saying I don't know out loud in front of people. That broke something in me that needed to break. Definitely, and I heard Jeff keep saying this a lot, imposter syndrome, disguised as perfectionism. In luxury retail and hospitality, you don't go to a client half prepared. You have to master the product before you speak. So that discipline kept me alive for years in high pressure sales. But in blockchain, it's kind of paralyzing. It was paralyzing to me. I've spent days trying to fully understand something before I even touch the keyboard. The ecosystem, the whole Solana ecosystem moves too fast for that. Turbine forced me to ship things I wasn't proud of, submit rough work, get torn apart, fix it, submit it again. This was the first time I turned into something I knew. The first time I actually turned in something that I knew it wasn't polished, it was physically wrong. It was something like showing up to a meeting with a different suit, different outfit. But the different and the more deeper unlearning was the imposter syndrome itself, because I kept telling myself I didn't belong here because I wasn't the most technical person in the room. And as well with Turbine environment, the consistency demands, the pressure, the visibility. That taught me that belonging isn't about being the smartest. It's basically about showing up, doing the work, and not quitting when it gets uncomfortable. The programs that I followed and the growth was quite astonishing. I did the builders cohort and the research cohort in parallel during Q3 in 2025. Then in Q4, I took the advanced SVM while simultaneously serving as a research instructor in the Turbine research cohort. They're distinctive cohorts that expand different areas of your knowledge. Like builders gave me the foundation, all the Solana account model, Rust anchor, writing programs from scratch, basically, instead of just copying from tutorials. That's where basically the syntax became real, and I stopped being a follower and started actually being a builder. With a research cohort running at the same time was a completely different muscle. That's where I learned to think systematically, have that develop my critical thinking. Using the statement proof analysis frameworks and so on. I started, how to learn how to investigate, how to, find structure, to follow different structures and communicate them in a way that it holds up for any scrutiny, basically. I ended up, building lessons materials and presenting to the cohort, which I never thought I could have done before. This is how it hit me in a way that I know I could have done even better. Now the advanced SVM cohort took me to a different level. It took it to a more deeper understanding of the architecture, directly into how Solana actually works under the hood. We've been through the whole Agave repo line by line actually, and doing that while doing the research cohort meant that I was learning and giving back at the same time, which honestly is where everything clicked the hardest. Each program filled the gap. After builders cohort, I knew I couldn't research properly. After the research cohort, I knew I needed more technical depth. I didn't keep coming back just for the loyalty and the great community that built around it. I kept coming back because it kept working. It kept clicking in my head. Well, Turbine trains you to be honest about what you don't know. That's for certain. And to do something about it immediately instead of just pretending. At Aki, I'm surrounded by security auditors and researchers who are among the best on Solana. Though I'm not an auditor, I'm a BD guy. So in most of the companies, that creates a wall. Because of Turbine, now I can sit in a conversation about account checks, about PDAs, about CPI vulnerabilities, and actually following it. I can look at a Trident fuzz test and understand where it's going. The other thing is, Turbine teaches you to show your work, be transparent about your process. Aki operates the same way. It is about 25 people, intentionally a small team. Joseph, the CEO, is a published PhD who cares about substance. They publish their audits. All the stats are openly published, and that is the kind of honesty about the quality, and it's exactly what Turbine instills as well. I didn't need an adjustment period per se. The tempo, the expectations, the prove it or shut up environment, Turbine already prepares and trains you for that. Turbine skills that I'm applying at Aki. First of all, the research methodology every single day. The way I map out the whole security landscape, competitors, who they are, what they offer, what their strengths, why other protocols are choosing them, how they perform their work, the different frameworks and systematically learning frameworks that I've learned in the research cohort is perfectly applied to this type of business. Now, the technical foundation from the builders and advanced SVM is what makes my outreach more credible. When I reach out to a protocol team about Trident, I'm not sending generic messages. I'm looking at their actual program architecture, understanding it, and explaining specifically how fuzzing would catch this kind of issues that they're exposed to. Now, this specifically comes directly from Turbine, and it's kind of built in me, as I said earlier, in the cultural DNA, and as well the communication skills. Structuring everything with statement proof analysis. This is how I'll build my outreach messages, every proposal, every internal report, because Joseph cares about data and logic. When I present the pipeline numbers or competitive analysis, it's structured the way I was trained to structure research, not just vibes, but true evidence and reasoning. Most programs teach you tools, while Turbine teaches you how to think when you're feeling uncomfortable. There are hundreds of boot camps that will walk you through writing an Anchor program, giving you all the information. It's all public. But what Turbine gives you doesn't exist elsewhere, because it's someone that is watching you struggle in real time, refusing to hand you over the answer, and making you sit in a discomfort until you sort it out, until you work it through yourself. And I think that the accountability, it's a self-paced course. Nobody notices if you disappear for a week, though it's not recommended. In Turbine, basically, your absence is truly visible. Your work is visible, your progress, or lack of it, is visible. That's not basically a side effect. That's actually the mechanism behind it. And they also build more than developers. The research cohort exists because they understood that coding is half of being used in this ecosystem. So you need to research, investigate, synthesize, communicate, and defend your whole thinking. Most of the programs will produce people who can deploy a contract. Turbine produces people who can actually walk into a room and hold their own. An unfiltered advice: drop the ego completely. If you're applying for a credential to put on your Twitter or LinkedIn, save your time. If you think you already know most of this, you are going to have most probably a rough experience. I'm not the smartest person in the room, not the smartest cookie in the jar. I'm not the most talented developer in the ecosystem. I never was, but I showed up, I did the work, and I persisted through every single moment that made me want to quit. That's all it takes. The people who get the most of Turbine are the ones who would say, I don't know what I don't know, but I'm willing to be embarrassed and figure it out. You're going to submit your work that gets picked apart. You're going to watch people that understand things faster than you, and you're going to question whether you belong or not. That's the whole point of it. Come out of your cave, like I did. Ask the questions that reveals, your gaps, not the ones that make you look smart. Help someone who's struggling. Be consistent. Show up. Do the work. The people I went through with Turbine became real connections in the ecosystem and well known. They weren't the most talented. They were most honest because they wanted to work and understand, and they were honest about where they were starting from. Whether it takes or not, and whatever it takes, put in the work. And it's not the final destination that counts. Enjoy the process. That is the most important.